Good morning, dear participants, and shalom. Today we commemorate the UN Partition resolution, which determined that two peoples, Israelis and Palestinians, are entitled to have independent, viable, and secure states, living peacefully and in harmony, side by side. I will not waste precious time speaking about political bonds of contention, negativity, hostility, and incrimination. I will not waste precious time to blame one side for the predicament of the conflict, impartially disregard the efforts and deeds of one side to attain peace, and at the same time glorify the ideology and activity of the other side and legitimize its conduct of victimization. Instead, I will share our commitment to promote peace, strengthen the relationship with the PGFTU, and protect the rights of the Palestinian workers employed in Israel. The Histadrut is proud to implement the explicit ideology of achieving peace and establishing a Palestinian state alongside the State of Israel as part of implementing the idea of a two states for two people solution. I would like to share with you our deeds to promote peace and protect the rights of the Palestinian workers who are employed in Israel, which is done in various ways. Translation of the collective agreement into Arabic and distributing it to the Palestinian workers. Providing legal consultation and conducting grievance committees which settle thousands of labor disputes. Unionizing over 7,000 Palestinians, operating an Arabic language call center and training regional union officials with tools to be better equipped to facilitate Palestinian workers' needs. Remitting 50% of dues of Palestinian workers employed in Israel, over $35 million to the PGFTU since 1995. Calling on the Israeli government to increase the number of work permits for Palestinians to be employed in Israel. The number increased from 17,000 in 2009 to more than 125,000 in 2020, and we expect this number to increase soon. Last but not least, providing vocational training to thousands of Palestinian workers and PGFTU officers on the topic of workers' rights and health and safety. انتو جسر السلام لا حل للسلام ولا حل للتعاون بين العمال الإسرائيليين وعمال الفلسطينيين.
وشكراً على هذه الدورة.
Practical deeds between Histadrut and PGFTU and not one-sided political declarations are the way to create peace, understanding, and cooperation. Focusing on political bonds of contention and a simplistic story about villains and victims only sows hatred and hostility between the Israeli and Palestinian workers and their unions. It disrupts the positive and vibrant activity that the Histadrut has been doing. We should strive to find the common denominator, since we are the bridge to peace. Achieving Palestinian-Israeli peace is not an easy task, but it deserves your 100% effort and engagement, not your personal emotions. It deserves your strategic thinking, not your knee-jerk anger. If we don't create peace, who can create peace? As Albert Einstein said, peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. There is nothing that we desire more than peace, but a peace agreement, like any other agreement, is an outcome of a dialogue and consent. We come from a world of negotiations and dialogue, and it is unacceptable, time after time, to determine the borders of the states of Israel and Palestine unilaterally without holding negotiations between the two concerned parties, let alone an agreement. We should strive to implement the BDS, not the BDS of boycott, advancement, and sanction, but the B for bridging, the D for dialogue, and the S for solidarity. لا حل للسلام لا حال للثقة والتعاون بين العمال الإسرائيليين والفلسطينيين والنقابات الإسرائيلية والفلسطينية. No solution but peace, no solution but trust and cooperation between the Israeli and Palestinian workers and the Israeli and Palestinian trade unions. Thank you for your attention.